Okay, so my presentation is on the control of acid rain in the United States. What is acid rain? Acid rain is any form of precipitation that contains acidic components that then falls to the ground from the atmosphere. So, causes of acid rain. Sulfur dioxide mixes with nitrogen oxides, then they're released into the atmosphere and carried around by wind and air currents. Then the sulfur dioxide mixes with the nitrogen oxides and they react with water, oxygen, and other chemicals to form a nitric acid, which is HNO3, and sulfuric acid, which is H2SO4. Then they dissolve in the water vapor in the air. A lot of the sources of sulfur dioxide and nitrogen oxides in the atmosphere are caused by human activities, such as burning of fossil fuels to generate energy, vehicles and heavy equipment, and manufacturing, oil refineries, etc. This diagram on the right is the acid rain pathway. It basically illustrates step 1, which is the sulfur dioxide and nitrogen oxides coming from like factories and emitted from vehicles going into the atmosphere, which is step 2, is in the atmosphere, and the wind is carrying it around to the clouds, is then deposited in the form of precipitation, step 3, rain, snow, sleet, dust. Step 4 is going from the atmosphere down into the soil, and then runoff running into the lakes and ocean, which is step 4, into the lakes and ocean with the fish and animals. Measurement and distribution of acid rain. When measuring acid rain, uses pH scale. Acidity and alkalinity is measured by using the pH scale above, with 7 being neutral. If it's less than 7, is more acidic. If it's greater than 7, the more alkaline it has. Normal rain has a pH of around 5.6. Acid rain usually has a pH between 4.2 to 4.4, which is very acidic. The geographic distribution of acid rain. This map is showing that the northeast region of the United States has the highest levels of acidity, with places like New York, DC, Maryland, all that 4.3 very acidic. Then regions like in the west, they're very more basic. They're very more basic, more alkaline. They don't have as much acidity in that area. The reasons for the highest levels of acidity in the Northeast region is caused by the large amount of cities, the dense population, and the high concentration of manufacturing, industrial, and power plants. Okay, so acid rain and the environment. The effects of acid rain on fish and wildlife is most evident in aquatic environments such as streams, rivers, lakes, and marshes. Acidic rainwater flows through the soil and then soaks up the aluminum particles that it flows into the aquatic regions. The more acid that's introduced is the more aluminum that's released. Some type of plants and animals can tolerate acidic water and small amounts of aluminum. However, some are acidic sensitive, as you can see in this diagram to the left. And then they are lost as pH levels decline. This diagram is showing the different critical pH level for animals such as snails, clams, bass, crayfish, trout, salamanders, and frogs, at which they'll be lost as their environment does become more acidic. At pH 5, most fish eggs can't even hatch. Even if a species of wildlife can tolerate acidic water, the animals and plants it eats might not be able to. This result causes a domino effect and harm to the food chain. The effects of acid rain on plants and trees is it drains aluminum from the soil, which is harmful to plants and animals. It then removes the vital minerals and nutrients from the soil that the trees need to grow. Acidic fog and clouds strip important nutrients from the tree's foliage, causing brown or lifeless leaves and needles. This causes trees to be unable to absorb sunlight, which makes it hard for them to survive freezing temperatures. This causes deforestation. This diagram I have here is showing the difference between a healthy sample of a forest, the Chilean forest, compared to an acid impacted forest. It's basically showing how from precipitation in the atmosphere down to the soil of how the difference between the two healthy forests and an acidic forest is different. Okay, how is acid rain controlled in the United States? For example, the government has a lot of different programs implemented to monitor and control acid rain. One example is the long-term monitoring project. It's used to detect long-term trends of the status of acid and bases in lakes, streams, marshes, rivers, etc. The data is used to characterize how the most sensitive aquatic areas in each region of the U.S. react to change in the deposition of acid. This program measures and monitors surface water chemistry at over 280 sites. It's sampled between 3 to 15 times a year, with a higher proportion of it conducted in the springtime because of the higher rates of runoff due to the season change, melting snow, etc., and higher stream flow. The effects of acid rain show seasonally because more harm in the spring and winter months during the most sensitive stages in some fish's lives. This diagram here is showing the sites of the long-term monitoring program. A lot of them are conducted in the northeastern region, as I said earlier, because of it's more acidic in those areas due to the high concentration of plants, cities, and the dense population. As individuals, what we can do to control acid rain is burn less fossil fuels. The government has also tried to reduce emissions by cleaning up the smokestack industry, aka chimneys. Also, by promoting alternative sources of energy. What we can do ourselves is conserve energy. Use less electricity used in homes is less chemicals the power plants have to emit. Vehicles are major fossil fuel users. We can reduce emissions by using public transportation, carpooling, or biking or walking to our destinations. So this is my reference page of all the sources I've used to get information for this presentation. And that concludes my presentation on the control of acid rain in the United States. Thanks for watching.